It's a day ending in Y, water is still wet, and Disney still has no idea what they're doing with Star Wars. Those are the three constants. And by extension, Dave Filoni doesn't know what he's doing either. Guys, it's time to stop defending this guy. I know you like the Clone Wars, I like some of Clone Wars, I like even some of Rebels, and maybe even a tiny bit of Bad Batch. But after this episode, it is beyond time to stop defending this guy. He worked best when he was working with George, but him by himself, no. So I had the displeasure of watching The Acolyte episode 4. I had heard the rumors and I heard people talking about it on Twitter before watching the episode. Yes, Ki-Adi-Mundi is in this episode, which makes absolutely no sense. This show is set 100 years before The Phantom Menace, and according to decades of lore, Ki-Adi-Mundi's species, the Syrians, have short lifespans. And of course, immediately after the episode, there was a editing war on Wikipedia. Surprise, surprise, that seems to happen all the time. Anytime something shows up in one of these shows that breaks canon, these Disney Star Wars fans go in there and they change it, and then the original fans go and change it back, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. So originally, before the editing war on Wikipedia, it said that Ki-Adi-Mundi was born in 93 BBY. Now we know he died in 19 BBY, so that would have made him 74 years old. That was established up until last night's episode. And then you have these morons that are in charge of this show, like Leslie Headland, coming in and just completely blowing that up, and people defend it by going and changing it. Again, Acolyte, 100 years before Phantom Menace, he wouldn't have been born yet. He's in this show, and yet he's not born for another 40 years or something like that. It's so stupid. So now it's been changed to where, oh, actually he was born in 132 BBY, which would make him 113 years old when he died. Again, which makes no sense, because the Syrian race has a short lifespan. In fact, their lifespans were so short that Syrians were one of the only species in Star Wars that were allowed to procreate even while being on the Jedi Council. Of course, because they're not allowed to have attachments while on the Jedi Council, but his situation is so dire with his people that he has to procreate, or they're going to go extinct. It's like nobody there right now at Lucasfilm has any idea about the past 40 years of lore. And on top of that, not only did they screw up his entire race and his character, on top of that, they made him a liar. Because now you get to episode 1 when he says this.
Impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennia.
That's just a lie, because he should actually say, oh yeah, actually, like 100 years ago, there was this Sith running around and these two twins. Like, he obviously completely lied about that. I swear they do this on purpose. They bring back old, beloved characters because they want to denigrate them. It seems like the only explanation to do this. Especially because, like, one of the only scenes he has in this show is specifically done, he's brought in this scene just to be belittled and denigrated by, well, Leslie Headland's wife, the character that she's playing. Take a look at this.
Alert the High Council.
The High Council would be obliged to inform the Senate. A scandal like this would inspire fear and mistrust. We should handle this ourselves.
He offers a solution. Hey, we should inform the High Council. No, immediately slapped down. And then he looks down in a demure, submissive, defeated manner. It's absurd. This is why I'm hoping Yoda doesn't show up in the show, because they're going to do something similar to him. Next, they'll probably say, oh yeah, actually Yoda was only like 100 years old. If something like that, because Ki-Adi-Mundi, yeah, he's a known character, but he's not like as well known as Yoda. Will it take something like that? Will it take something like taking Yoda and rewriting him and saying, oh, actually he was only like 100 years old? Will that be enough to finally wake these people up? Because it's like, we've been beating this drum for over a decade. And every time they do this, I feel like more and more people are like, oh, okay, yeah, Disney actually doesn't know what they're doing. And I think this one might be one of the biggest cracks in the armor. And I've been going through Twitter looking at some of the reactions to this episode, and yeah, I'm not the only one saying this. Look at all these people that are saying, hey, actually he wasn't born yet, what are you doing, why is he here? And on top of that, also his voice actor, the actor that's playing him, sounds nothing like the guy that played him in the prequels.
This girl could become a major threat.
We have surveyed all systems in the Republic, but have found no sign of General Grievous.
Yet there is skill there.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? I concur. Master Kenobi should go.
An apprentice who doesn't know their master. It's absurd.
He sounds awful. They did an okay job of making it look like him, but again, it could have been any Syrian, but of course, people didn't know at first, so they looked in the credits, and yeah, it is indeed Ki-Adi-Mundi. Anyway, I'm just sick of all this. It just feels deliberate at this point. You're bringing in people that want to destroy this IP because they can't possibly be this incompetent. I know they say don't attribute malice to incompetence, But at this point, it has to be malice. You can't possibly be this stupid.